Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Daincast. This time we've got a game from someone I haven't casted. I don't think I've casted him at all before, maybe one or two games, but pretty rare that we get games from Frugs, so I always look forward to seeing these. He is playing the Pink Zerg in the bottom left-hand corner of Eternal Empire LE, and his opponent is from the clan All In. He is the Orange Protoss known as Drumhead. So Frog's obviously going for, it will be interesting in seeing what he goes for. Usually if Protoss is playing at least somewhat standard, Zerg tends to dictate the pace of the early game. There's lots of early game shenanigans that Zergs can go for, and the whole Protoss early game is built around taking an expansion safely while not dying to any of the craziness that Zerg can do. Obviously, there's craziness that Protoss can do, but it's fairly easily scouted and it's very committed. So if the only thing that Protoss could really go for here would be like a cannon rush, that would really throw Zerg off of its game plan. Otherwise, there's lots of different things. So there's Speedling all-ins, there's Ravager all-ins, there's Baneling busts, there's all these different things that Frugs could choose to do, and I know that he can do them. He's capable of doing lots of different builds, lots of different styles, and that's why his games are so exciting, because I genuinely don't know what I'm going to get from this game. Looks like it's going to be a pretty standard opening from him so far. He's getting his 17 hatch, he's getting his gas, and then he's getting his pool. Probably will be looking to take a third base at some point, but we'll have to see. And Drumhead also going for a pretty standard build of his own with a 20 Nexus and a 20 Core afterwards. So very economic focused openers from both of these players. I like this placement from Frugs with his pool just off to the side. It just makes it a little bit harder for the probe to spot. It's just a little bit longer if he comes in and he does a loop around. It'll take him a little bit longer before he sees the timing of it, which just creates a little bit, that little bit of extra delay before the scouting information gets there, which every little bit helps in this matchup. Every little bit of uncertainty you can give to the Protoss player will give him a little bit of pause for thinking about what he wants to do and how he wants to do his build. Will he cut a corner? Will he cut one less corner because he sees the pool a little bit later? Who knows? So the Zergling speed is started now for Frugs. He's also from the same clan. I actually didn't even notice this. They're both from the All In clan. We'll have to see if either of them does decide to live up to their clan name in this game. So the probe is gonna have to go home for Drumhead. It's being chased away by these Zerglings. They could actually just turn around and surround it if they wanted to, because this one Zergling is way further ahead. Look at this spread on these Zerglings. They're completely all over the place. A few nibbles on the probe's bum, but not any actual significant hull damage is going to be taken by this probe. The Adept is now out and is going to force these Zerglings away. But Drumhead definitely wants to send this Adept out to do a little bit of scouting. He doesn't know yet if there is a third base. He doesn't know how many drones there are at the natural. And he doesn't know if there's a lair or anything like that. So Frugs is going for a lair now fairly early on, and he is getting a third base as well, but none of this information is going to be available to Drumhead. Looks like he's going to play very, very defensively at this stage, which is going to put him in the dark as to exactly what it is that Frugs is doing, especially as Frugs has this Overlord in position here at this very awkward position. It could let him do a Nidus Worm here if he wanted to, and he also could do a Nidus Worm down here if he chose to, given that there's only one Stalker to defend this. He is getting charge fairly early on, so it might just be a charge all in, maybe a Marjorie build from Drumhead. He's adding his extra gateways, and he's not mining from his extra 2 gases down here. So it's kind of, it could be a version of the Marjorie, but there's so many Zerglings here from Frugs, and there's only a couple of units from Drumhead, and there's no shield battery as well. So Frugs honestly could just decide just to keep moving this, and he might be able to just kill him, because again, since Drumhead doesn't know about this, he hasn't built a shield battery, and he's gonna actually lose the cybernetics core basically for free. And is the lair actually going to get used from Frugs at all? I don't think he's going to. So he's just going to keep barreling down the front here, and he already gets the cybernetics core down. However, charge is still about halfway finished, and it's still going to keep going. So the really important thing for Drumhead is that he gets his charge completed so that he can start making charge plots. But with these, with this little drop here, he's going to be able to elevator his Zerglings up into the main, and this is going to make a bad situation worse for Drumhead. He's not going to be able to defend both fronts here. He's already has a dangerous situation at his natural. He's forcing himself to create a shield battery down there, so his front is safe, but now his his main base is going to get nibbled away by these Zerglings, and this pylon going down is going to signal the end of the production for these two. Even a Nidus Worm being added for Frugs, so he's going to be able to again keep rallying units in his main into the natural or into both bases of his opponent here, giving multiple avenues into the space. The Zealots are on top of the Nidus Worm, but he's adding another one already, and he manages to keep most of these Zerglings alive. The Warp Prism from Drumhead manages to save his Adepts, or his Zealots at this point, and he is warping in a few more Zealots. So Zealots are definitely a good unit to deal with this, but even with the Probe Pull, he's still going to get this extra Nidus Worm down, and now he's fighting everything with the probes and another Nidus Worm coming down, and the longer he's doing this, the less he's mining. And even though the Zealots are on top of this, I can't help but feel the damage that's been done. The Zerglings are coming into the front now and nibbling away at this pylon here, and if he gets the second pylon down, it could be lights out. This is the last bit of production. Even the Warp Prism powering up these gateways at the top, but this is the last bit of production here for our Protoss player, and as long as he gets this wall off, he should be okay. But these Zerglings dancing in and killing yet another probe, so even though Protoss still has that economic advantage, he doesn't have a secure front, and he doesn't have a secure base in his main base. He doesn't have the production that he wants, and now even bringing in the Queens with this, it's completely all in for Frugs at this stage. He's surrounding these units. He's overwhelming him with Zerglings, and with the added damage of this Queen, he is going to lose absolutely everything. So now only 10 army supply for our Protoss player, and the last sentry going down. Even these last few Zealots, even though they've got the support of the shield battery, they are going to get completely overwhelmed and fall, and it's a GG from Drumhead and a victory for Frugs.